What can I say? Mad respect for NIO for delivering more than 10,000 cars in 1 month in September. The rumors were true, and so NIO really blasts the estimations here, actually exceeding their, yes I know, lowered guidance. And now we're looking at a pretty good Q3 in my views, just shy of 25,000 sales. The cumulative sales are adding up nicely here and a new record of 10,628 deliveries. And so this is how it looks to a over quarter-on-quarter basis. And what is the black and red doing here? This is Mercedes and Audi, okay. Now don't get me wrong, this is not about making fun of the German premium to luxury segment sales here of pure EV cars in China. Maybe a little bit. No, just kidding. This is more about putting in context of what NIO is actually doing here, because we oftentimes compare NIO to Tesla, to a Xiaopeng, to Li Auto and so on, which in my point of view are fairly different companies, because we need to appreciate actually that NIO here is doing a much tougher job in terms of breaking into the premium to luxury segment as a Chinese brand, and this never happened before in such a scale actually. So what I think is the key takeaway here for the deliveries in September, which are great, is actually that they managed to get into this segment at a big scale, while the average sales prices of NIO cars are not coming at the cheap, right? So they're comparing with the likes of Mercedes-Benz, even Porsche, in terms of how much the cars are selling on average over the entire fleet. And that is quite an achievement in my point of view. And this also explains some of the issues why NIO might be scaling not as fast, for instance, than a Xiaopeng, which just makes sense in my views, because once again, I'm repeating myself, XPeng would have to sell double the amount of NIO cars in order to achieve the same at the bottom line in terms of vehicle profitability. And so I see the September numbers as nothing more of a confirmation of what NIO is doing fundamentally. They are taking enormous business risks in terms of scaling, battery swapping, building infrastructure, which for instance XPeng is also not doing, Li Auto is not doing, and the German OEMs are also not doing in China. NIO is doing that. And then they also invested heavily in R&D, in design from Germany, the Munich office and stuff, which should now hopefully benefit them in going globally and overseas. So these are the aspects which we continuously kind of have to verify as shareholders, I guess. And of course, this comes to a great relief that NIO somehow managed with great efforts to deliver the cars in September, despite, I would say, ongoing supply constraints. And so we are not certain yet that this will be the end of the chip shortage. But what I think is quite likely now is that NIO will land at the 95,000 annual sales for this year, which would be a great number in my books. Going into this year, I had much lower estimations based on the first quarter, which was actually pretty good for NIO. And I think in Q4 they could reach close to 30,000 deliveries, maybe less than that, I would say. Possibly we can have another month which would be lower than current numbers. And then usually having a ramp towards the end of quarter, like into December, maybe delivering more than 11,000 cars. That is my current estimations, and that would make it possible for the 95,000 annual deliveries. And then really exciting going into next year with the ET7 ramp, with updated models on the new platform 2.0 for the ES8, as well as NIO Park coming online, new models unveiled at NIO Day and such, so that I think possibly another 100% year-over-year growth next year is in the books. In comparison, Li Auto delivered around 7,000 cars in September, and XPeng also managed to jump above the 10,000 cars, but slightly lower than NIO there. But once again, I think the outstanding achievement of NIO here is that this is happening at a very different segment, but still at a really large scale. And yes, of course, at some point in time, also the German OEMs need to sell more electric cars. And I think they also will be able to ramp their EV sales also in China. But for now, I just want to highlight and recognize the incredible job that the NIO team is currently doing there, and that it seems like the product itself has a really high acceptance among Chinese EV buyers. Now I'm also looking forward, of course, to the Tesla numbers. I guess they will be good also in China. But in general, what I think is always the most important thing is customer centricity, the quality of the product. And here I think NIO is a long-term winner and also has much more valuation as well as growth potential than most other car companies, as well as most other stocks actually that I'm seeing out there. So let me know what you think about the December deliveries and whether or not you're excited about this. This time I'm not going to crack the champagne bottle because I don't want to jinx it again. But anyways, this would only be short-term stock price movement. I'm really not concerned about NIO as long as the fundamentals, like shown today, are staying intact. And so I think we can be really happy with this and then enjoy our weekends. So thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.